Hey guys, do you have a lot of original games like I do for the TurboGrafx 16? And you really don't want people to play these originals, especially if you got them complete in box? I have a solution for you I'm going to talk about right after this. Alright, so we've got my Everdrive here, my Everdrive Pro. Now the difference between the Everdrive and the Everdrive Pro for the Turbo Express is that the Everdrive Pro can play CD games. There's a list of other features that it has that you'll see later on in this video, but this is one of the main things. So when you get your Everdrive, you won't have this nice fancy background. I'll show you how you can do that. But you're going to have this magic engine that's going to be, automatically installed. And it's just going to have a bunch of text files in here. Nothing really that you really need to pay attention to. But the next big thing is, okay, so how do you add games? So what I did was I created folders on my PC or Mac, what doesn't matter, plug in the SD card, and I did TurboGrafx 16 games, TurboGrafx 16 CD games. So what you can do is, by hitting the select button on your TurboGrafx, it'll bring up a menu system that you can see here. Now, this is an overall menu system that you can get into. Like let's just go into the options, for instance. These are the settings that I have on mine. In-game menu, cheats. Now, cheats I didn't really get into, and I'll kind of show you, because cheats is kind of involved. Cheats has like a really interesting setup, and there's another way you can get into it with games, but you can turn that on or off. And if you want to copy my settings, go right ahead. There's even audio settings and whatnot. And then you just hit the 2 button to get back out to the main menu. So when you get down here to cheats, this is where, like I said, it gets kind of really involved. I didn't really get into any of this, so you guys can get into it if you so choose to. System folders where we really want to pay attention. So these are the folders that I have created on the SD card inside of the system folder. So I have a BIOS, and I'll show you those in a second. Firmware, I have game data. Game data is where your save games are going to go. I don't have anything currently, but system cores, system data, themes, and I'm going to kind of get into that as well. So let's kind of go into the BIOS. So these are the BIOSes. If you want to take a screenshot of these, you can go in and take a screenshot. These are the ones that work with the TurboGrafx 16. They work with the TurboGrafx CD. So you grab these, and the cool part about this card is it automatically will grab a BIOS based on what you have on the system. So let's kind of back out. And then the firmware, now I don't have any firmware in here, but like when you go to Crick's website, and I'll have the link in the description, you want to put the firmware in this folder after you create it, and then you just simply hit the 1 button on it, and it will install that firmware. And when you're done, my suggestion is to delete it out of this folder so somebody that's playing your Turbo Express doesn't accidentally reinstall the firmware. Like I said, what game data was, system cores, here's something else if you want to screenshot it. These are the cores that work with the TurboGrafx 16 / Turbo Express. And then if we go down a little bit more, you have more system data, and then you have themes. Now, themes is really cool. Some of these themes you can get, again, on Crick's website. So we'll just kind of go down to, let's just do basic. And you just hit 1 button, hit set theme. Oh, that was the same one I had on. Okay, let's go to default. This is the one that you're going to see when you get the card set up. So these other ones you have to download from Crick's website. But I like the basic too. It's not super crazy, but it's enough that it kind of gives it some color. So that's all done. You can put them inside of the themes folder inside of the system folder. So now let's go into one of the games. So if you come down here, Bonk's Adventure, right? So if I hit 1 button on it, the first thing it's going to do is going to allow me to start the game. I can go into cheats. I can check out the ROM info. Now sometimes you'll know the ROM won't play. Like, let's say you start doing some research, and on the internet it says, do not use ROM version, blah, 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 blah. You can always check it inside of here to see if it's going to have crashing, if it's going to be one that's going to work. If not, you can just go about your way. You can even delete the ROM right off of it. So let's just start the game. What I want to show you, which is really cool. So the game starts. I'm going to tip the system up for a real second. On the back of it, on the cartridge, there is a button you can hit. Now your audio is going to be like frozen, if you will. But what it does is it's going to show you here on this menu system. Let me set this down so it's not shaking. You can save the game right where it's at. You can load the game from a previous save. You can restore it from, last save and all that stuff. So this is something that we didn't have with the TurboGrafx 16 growing up. And this is something that you can do with this. If you want to back out, you just hit the 2 button and you can kind of, go back. We can exit to the game. Sometimes what happens, as you can see here, it freezes. So you just have to hit the button, go down here, exit game, and then you can go back out. So if it freezes, don't panic. Now I'm going to flip this over and I'll show you the button that I hit. So on the Turbo Pro, you can kind of see it. It's right there, that button. You just press that. That'll get you to the menu. There are ways that you can bind the keys inside the menu system that if you want to hit like 2 buttons, but sometimes people play using 2 buttons, like especially a game that you have to run and jump at the same time. So I don't like binding keys, so I just do it that way. But as you can see, like I've got the whole library of the TurboGrafx 16 using the PCE extensions. Make sure that you wherever you're going to go. And I want to state this: if you're watching this video, do not put in the comments, where do I get the ROMs? Can you send me the ROMs? I do not condone piracy, and I will not answer those. But just remember, Google is your friend, and you can find anything on the internet if you take the time and look for it. And I'm just showing you how to set up this cart so that you don't have to take your originals with you. You can leave 1 cartridge in your Turbo Express and play it to your heart's content. So that's pretty much it. It's very easy to set up. Just drop it in. A lot of times, some of the ROMs, they come complete with the correct cores and BIOSes. So a lot of times what happens is when you, let's go back out here. Let's go into Bonk 3 here, and we're going to start the game. It's going to start up with the system. This is the Super System core. It tells you what to do. Hit the start button. We're going to go in. It's going to find the right core and the right BIOS, and then it's going to start playing. Don't panic if it doesn't launch right away. What the system is doing is trying different BIOSes and cores to make sure everything works. And as you can see, it works flawlessly. So keep that in mind going into setting it up. So there you have it. The Everdrive Pro is a great way to play all the games that you have or even you don't have, and not worry about people opening your good games that are complete in box and ruining them. You can keep them on the shelf, and you can pretty much get an Everdrive for every other system that you have, which is what I do. So I hope this tutorial walkthrough helped you in setting it up and kind of understanding how the folders work and what you need to do. Remember, guys, hit the subscribe button on the way out, like and comment, and until next time, keep it buzzing.